Hello everybody. Interesting news coming out of New York as reportedly the New York Rangers have signed Blake Wheeler to a one-year contract. What does it mean for Wheeler? What does it mean for the Rangers? Well, we'll talk about that as Wheeler, of course, has been around for a long time in the NHL, has spent the last 12 seasons in the Manitoba province and has been a long-time Jet, was captain there and was recently bought out by the Winnipeg Jets. One of the many players for Winnipeg that seemed to want out, Pierre-Luc Dubois, was recently traded as the Jets, just made the playoffs. Things seem to be a little bit better when they got that first win against Vegas. They lose 4 in a row. Ever since that final game, it seems like things keep going downhill for them as they keep losing forward in veteran talent. But yeah, so what about Wheeler? 37 years old, almost 37, and a guy that just signed a one-year extension or one-year deal with the New York Rangers. 1 year, $800,000. That is not too shabby there, as it has $300,000 in incentives, meaning he likely will be a guy that shouldn't be an issue for them. He's a good risk versus reward guy, as he's older, but still been a player that could be very productive for them. And obviously, he's not going to be somebody that they feel like the money makes them play him in the top of the lineup. He's probably going to be a middle six guy. They can tinker around with the lineup a little bit. Maybe keep him on the third line, and if they have injuries, something like that, or if he's playing really well, move him up to the second line, move him up to the first line. I really don't care what they do with him, but again, is a guy that should give them a little bit of depth on a cheap deal, and is a veteran player that is known for his leadership. Is he going to be a guy that makes them a contender single-handedly? Absolutely not. However, for a team in the Rangers that are looking to win their first Stanley Cup in almost 30 years, it'll be 30 years this year if they don't win it, it would be a big deal to be able to win this cup as they look to take a step forward, because obviously you know that the Rangers made the Eastern Conference Final 2 seasons ago, made it to the playoffs this year, had a really good regular season, and then ended up falling to the Devils in 7 games. That is not what you want to do. You do not want to lose to your rivals in a 7-game affair in the first round after making a deep run in the playoffs. Wheeler now coming in and going to be one of those guys that they use because they've got a lot of money tied up other places, hoping that he can contribute. Will he be a guy like, 2017-18 version of himself where he scores 90 points? Probably not. But he's a guy that is closing in on 1,000 career points. Will he hit it this year? I think he'd need about 78 to about 80 points to hit that total, so he's probably not going to do it this year. But hopefully a guy that is going to be motivated, said he wanted to go to the Eastern Conference because of less travel and more opportunities or new opportunities. You're going from Manitoba to New York, so obviously that is a big jump from a smaller city to a much bigger city in the Big Apple. So hopefully he is happy there, and hopefully the Rangers get the best out of him as they look to, again, take a next step forward after 2 pretty good years that don't end the way they want them to. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this deal? Like I said, I'm a pretty big fan of it because it's not going to be one of those things that come back to haunt them unless he just destroys locker room chemistry. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody, stay safe. Have a great night. You will walk you alright. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.